This episode, Hungry Larry from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, is one of my favorite Halloween episodes after rewatching it, because believe me when I say this episode showcases that during the Halloween season, you need to find the right stuff in order to be scary, and since you don't have the right stuff, you can't be able to succeed with the children who found you nice but at the same time not good enough for Halloween to scare people involving you creating a haunted house. This may be an odd coincidence, but during this recording, when I was gonna rewatch the episode for preparation, I just realized that this, along with its sister/brother episode, this was the last episode I watched from this show when it comes to binge watch. An odd coincidence, but believe me when I say this, I binge watch this show very, very slowly, so to tell you the truth, it feels a lot more awkward knowing full well that I only watched one episode that centered around Christmas, while I didn't binge watch the show again afterwards. But believe me when I say this, rewatching an episode and learning about this information shows a lot that I have less knowledge nor interest towards this show, which is really weird considering that this episode ended up becoming one of my most favorite Halloween episodes. Mr. Diaz is really depressed that he wasn't able to scare children in his haunted house that he created. So this leads to Star summoning a monster in order to have the entire house to become a house of horrors. And that creature is Hungry Larry himself, which is mainly a small guy in a ghost costume and has eyes from Adventure Time. After feeling disappointed by the presence of the creature, Jana plans to fire him, only for her to scream out of her lungs, which got the attention of everyone on the block, and they want to go inside the haunted house to see the true horror of the house from the inside. But in reality, it's literally only one creature, but that one creature is gonna get much more bigger. When all the kids head into Star's bedroom, which is where Hungry Larry is at, they all disappear and Star's bedroom becomes haunted, with so much candy all over the place, which leads to so much fear all around the children as they disappear. And that is black saliva, not dark chocolate. Really shows how terrifying this show is when it takes its creature seriously. Since Marco told Star about not summoning creatures whatsoever, it's more of an indication that Star is literally thinking over her head by just trying to make things right for Marco's father, even if she went against his wishes. As much as I relate to Marco, since that he's dealt with the creatures that Star summoned, I still sympathize with his father more, considering that for every Halloween season that comes by, he always fails as just trying to bring terror in his house, since that he is really bad at it, which is why he wants to cut ties from the holiday completely. When parents try too hard to impress people, they really try too hard when it comes to desperation. But when it comes to Mr. Diaz, he isn't trying too hard, considering that he's mostly depressed of the aftermath itself. Believe me when I say this, the fact that the father is feeling depressed that he couldn't be able to impress anyone when it comes to his creativity, when his creativity is so poor, you can really feel bad for him. And believe me, when a character isn't trying too hard for desperation, that is where I feel sympathy towards them, since that they know that they're not good enough. But since Star decides to go against Marco's wishes by taking matters into her own hands, summoning Hungry Larry is a bad idea, obviously, but since that she is mostly welcome to the family as the series progressed, despite the finale that I heard about and saw critiques about but haven't watched it for myself. She makes things worse for the characters, obviously, but she also makes the characters look good at the end. Granted, it's mainly the fact that I didn't remember all the episodes after watching them from 2021, but believe me when I say this episode just gave me appreciation of what Star can do when it comes to her powers, and the fact that she is willing to make Marco's father good in the end. Hungry Larry in this episode is really terrifying, like extremely terrifying, to the point that it will probably be every child's new nightmare if they watch this episode when they're under the age of 13 or 10, because believe me when I say this, you will probably not be able to sleep again after realizing of how Hungry Larry eats everyone in order to make the haunted house terrifying. Since that he wasn't doing this in order to get revenge or just try to face off the other characters, he's only doing it to make the house haunted. You can't really go against his character since that he's only doing his job. And believe me when I say this, the climax between him and Mr. Diaz, even though that there are other climaxes from this show that is entertaining when it comes to holiday related episodes, it's really interesting. Since that Mr. Diaz cares about his family so much, he is willing to go inside Hungry Larry's mouth. He's so mad that he manages to get Hungry Larry to throw up everyone out, and believe me when I say this, less we know about what he did inside him, the better. Just look at the terror on his face. That's literally the only way he's gonna be terrifying during the Halloween season, when someone takes him off. If you wanna know what my first experience of watching this episode during my binge watch is, mainly of how forced the resolution is when it comes to how it ended abruptly. Maybe it's me on the fact that I just didn't like how this show has less music and the fact that the pacing may be off, but after rewatching it, it really feels like that the conclusion at the end is good enough on its own. Though then again, it's mainly me on how I feel about this show, which is why I prefer the other shows. And no, it's not because I'm joining the bandwagon, because like I said, I didn't watch the finale even if I heard the criticisms about it. Just keep in mind, when I get to the Starco shipping, that is literally my own perspective of what I feel, so don't expect me to be on the bandwagon. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode, one of my favorite Halloween episodes so far, which is really saying something that with the schedule involving Halloween Mania, anything is possible when it comes to out of nowhere surprises. This is one of the reasons onto why I'm glad I'm in the Halloween mood, otherwise I wouldn't be able to review this episode and see the creativity again after rewatching it. I'm giving this episode an 8.5 out of 10.